Welcome to my Target haul. So today I'm going to show you all the things that I purchased today for part of our 2020-2021 school year. So I'm teaching a third grader and we follow a few different things. So I don't want to tell you like we have a specific schedule, but the main one I would say would be a gentle feast and probably a little bit of a Charlotte Mason feel to it, and I'll just show you those resources now. So what I picked up today, this is obviously a pencil box, but I want to tell you how I'm using all my resources because that might seem obvious. You buy pencil boxes, which we own some. This is going to be for our spelling resources, and how I'm using it is I also purchased this bin, and they're going to be in here, and I have a few different ones. And she has different resources she uses for spelling. And not all of them are going to be actual handwriting. So that's how I do that. We have things like bananagrams. We have some cards that she uses to spell things. We have stamps. There's stickers. So different stuff like that she uses throughout the year will go in these. And I had to pick those up. And I was so excited when I went to Target to buy a tote today. I found this resource to kind of store all that in. I think that was like $3 for the big bin and $1 for the small bins. I found this. I thought this was really cool and I wanted to show you how I'm going to use it. This is a photo banner, so it would be like to make just a big banner for like whatever you might want. I bought a couple. So I think these were $3 each, and how I'm using these is I'm going to put some timeline figures in these to do timelines of specific eras. So if we're doing, for instance, like the kings and queens of England, I may put their pictures in here so we can do like little mini timelines of different eras. I thought that was a fun way to use that. Another thing you could do with this, I had done something like this with my daughter in the past. I didn't have this resource, but to make their own personal timeline. So you could put their pictures in there and make a timeline of their history from like birth through kindergarten, as I did it in kindergarten, something very similar to that. And I thought that was a really fun resource. I picked up these today too. These are an assortment of flashcards. So I'll tell you what each one is. This is Cultures of the World. I liked these flashcards because they were a picture of real people with facts about the areas. This is Finland, South Korea, Brazil, and we may not be using these necessarily this year in our curriculum, but I do intend on covering different cultures around the world in the near future. So I picked up money and telling time. Those are both topics that we know, but we still are working on. So this says includes 40 punch outs for hands-on learning. I believe that's this money here. Let's open it up. So it has like little punch out, I believe, little punch out money. Yes, it does. So you can punch them out. I don't necessarily need them. I think my daughter might get a kick out of them. She may even use them like with her American Girl dolls. That's what I could foresee that being. But they have mastering money cards. So they have a total at the bottom, and it's just helping you to figure out counting money. And so we do that a lot on a regular basis, but she's been really into it lately. So I figured that would be a fun resource. Telling time, she also knows how to tell time as a third grader, but sometimes it's fun to touch up those resources, those skills, I guess you would say. And I like that it has these little hands. It has minute hands too. I know, there they are. I liked that this, though, is not just using it on a regular clock, because as I've taught her in the past, that's what I used. But going forward, I kind of like that this is every kind of clock you could imagine in here, like things you might see at your grandma's house or at the store. It doesn't have numbers, so it's helpful to look at those kinds of clocks. And that's one of the reasons I picked it up, because while she can usually tell on this, that's not what every clock we see. Like every clock we see doesn't look like this. So sometimes the clock you see looks like this, and that's a little hard for a third grader sometimes to look at and say, like, what time is that? So that was a fun thing. And then it had these which it was like what time I woke up in the morning. And so we can put like our normal morning wake up times and she can make those herself. And so that was a fun way for us to do that. That would be a fun way for us to do that. And that's what I intend to use that for. Now, these aren't necessarily a scheduled thing. These are going to be in bins, I'm assuming, that we can use in some of our downtime and in our afternoon time. Now, these I'm not positive how I'm using. You can see I got 2 sets of them because my original intention with this was that we would be using them for memory. And then I realized, oh, there's only 36 flashcards, which means they're front and back. Maybe I'll think of another way to play a game with these. I don't really plan on using state flashcards, but we are going to be working on the 50 states for geography this year. And so I thought that would be a really fun way to use those flashcards. So I'm not positive exactly what that's going to look like, but maybe I'll see if my daughter can think of a game or make something up to use there. I also picked up this. They have these for $3 right now, so if you need any type of little caddy to hold your resources, pencils, pens, and that's a great thing. I have one downstairs already. This is a small caddy. It's also, this year, we're using it to put my daughter's cleaning supplies in because she does have a chore list and more responsibility that we're going to implement this year. She's always had basic chores, but this year they're going to include a lot more things like cleaning the bathroom and helping with cleaning, wiping things down like doorknobs and handles and stuff. So this is going to be a nice resource that she can keep her things in and throw it under the sink and she can get it out. And it has like kid-friendly cleaning supplies in it, especially because she does have asthma and she can be really sensitive to chemicals. So she'll know what's hers because it'll be in this caddy. So that was fun, or not fun, but a nice resource to find, I guess. These are stamps. And so it has a checklist stamp, and then these are just like a check mark. And I probably don't really have a lot of need for like an A+ stamp because I don't do typical grading, but this checklist one was enough that I wanted, that I was willing to pay $3 for it, because I've been doing my checklist a lot of times on a small like index card, and sometimes I put checklist inside of my planner, and so this was nice to do that with. Going along with the planner topic, I found these. These are sticker books, so they have different topics on them. Obviously, I don't have bus duty as a home educator, but I liked that it had the music, math, lunch, like gym, all those different things that I can put in there. And then let me go ahead and break away the stamp. Well, if I can without messing, maybe I can't without messing the stickers. I'll just kind of do a flip through of the types. So these are things I will use in my planner. And that's why I thought for $1, that's worth it for my planner. And then these are letters, sticker letters. They're different colors. There's numbers and things too. You can see these are going to go in that spelling bin I was discussing. So I already had some sticker books of letters that she can use for spelling, but you can always use more letters. Like, who doesn't like letter stickers? So all of those will be used this year. I found these. These are reading trackers. So I'll show you what that is if you've never used one. So I'm just going to pull out let's see. I have a book here. So let me just pull out a book that's sitting next to me that I'm looking through. This is Homeline Year by Year, but you would use this to read like this. And these get used as bookmarks in our house as well. And sometimes my daughter can, like, she's a very fast reader, but sometimes because she's a very fast reader, she can skip over stuff. So I like to encourage her to use something like this to kind of help her eyes, train her eyes to like hone in on that one area. And then this is a large pack of them, so she can put these in all the different books she's working on. Okay. Next resource I found is this. This is a flashcard holder. Now, I own just a bajillion different types of flashcards, but this I thought was nice because if you have flashcards like this came from my father's world, and they're like a card stock. They're not laminated. I may eventually laminate them, but I grabbed this at the store today just specifically for these state, bird, and flower flashcards that we will be doing as we study the 50 states this year, because I don't want them to get messed up, and I didn't really want to put a rubber band around them and make them have big lines and stuff in them. Maybe that's just me being crazy, but I thought that was a nice, fun thing to keep that in. So I did also find these. This is my book of stories, and this is full steam ahead. I have used some of these books from Target in the past that are blank, but I found these to be just even another step up. Sometimes I don't like stuff that is already all there for you. I like just blank books, especially using the Charlotte Mason method, but let me show you really fast the inside of these. So this one, the Storybook, I thought this would be really nice to use along with some of our creative writing this year. So she can say she's the author of this book. She can put the title of her story, a picture, and then it just has these really nice blank lines and then another title. So I may write a lot. I probably will write most of her creative writing for this year for her, being that handwriting is something we're still really working on, and we're kind of moving into cursive, so I want her to really focus on that cursive writing, and she has much more creativity than she would probably want to write in this book. So I just wanted to share that with you. That was a really fun resource. Another one are these steam books. Now these are $3 for 8 packs of these. That's awesome. She will go through these over multiple years. She's not going to fill all of these in a year. I've used, like I said, other things before for her, but this is a STEM or STEAM. If you're not familiar, that's science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. That's what STEAM stands for. A lot of people know STEM. If it has an A in it, that's the art aspect. So it says this book belongs to, and it has a science experiment section. Sorry, I'm not really showing you here. So this book belongs to science experiment. What is the experiment? What do you think will happen? What is the result? It even has a spot you could put a picture you took. And then on the worksheet, it has what is the question? What is my hypothesis? What materials and supplies do I need? How will I test my hypothesis? What did I observe and what did I learn? And then it has ask, what is the problem? Imagine, how can we solve the problem? Plan, what will you do to solve the problem? Create, what worked and what didn't work, and improve. How can you make the design better? And that's just a bunch of these experiments, like a bunch of just that blank experiment format, so that as she does her experiments, she can record them in this. And I really loved that idea. So I grabbed that. And that's something that she's probably not going to use. She may only use one of those this year because she has other resources we're going to be using for science notebooking, but I just couldn't pass up $3 for 8 of those, so I bought them. Here's another thing that I found that I just could not pass up. This giant Carson DeLosa Education blank US map. Now this is not one map, this is 30 sheets. And so if you're familiar with the Charlotte Mason method of map work, one of the things that she recommended was to do like a blank map, and you give it to them on like the first week, and they fill in what they know, and then maybe a few days later or the next week you would give them a blank map again, and they would fill in what they know, and then you kind of like go through and fill in the rest, and you continue to do that throughout the year. Now I don't know if we'll start with all 50 states. We may start with the colonies and see how that goes, but we intend to get through all 50 states this year, and so it's nice that this is 30 of these, and then the back has more, and the U.S. states and capitals, and it's a big sheet. Like comparatively, like these are much smaller. This is a huge sheet of paper. It's kind of like a placemat size. So it'll be nice just to have that to start geography work every day, or not every day, but like once or twice a week throughout the year. We can use these for geography, and I really liked the idea. And those were $5, those maps. Next thing, she picked up this. I like to do at least one fun thing for the first day of school. Every kid loves slime. She likes glow-in-the-dark stuff, and we are going to be studying like astronomy this year, so I think maybe it's kind of like a play on that. We had done a lot of glow-in-the-dark projects when we did astronomy projects in kindergarten, just because it was kindergarten, so she thought this would be a fun thing also. So those are the main things I purchased. There's one more thing I bought that I'm going to do a separate video on, and I will briefly show you that today. And that is this giant resource here. It's a tote that I put all of my planning stuff in for the year. And so I really was enjoying it. Like, just the idea of having something like this that you can separate. It's a snap together container, and I needed something for my planning, and that was $10. So that's the main. I think I did get a couple more totes, but and oh, my daughter got a chair. It was a great Target trip though, and we're most of the way ready for back to school. So don't forget to subscribe and like, and tell me what you've been buying for back to school this year.